What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Investing Bros. It is another great morning. It is August 3rd, Thursday, and we got a great show lined up for you guys. Unfortunately, though, it is going to be questioning, are the bears about to take even more control? It's not just the Binance headline, everybody. I know a lot of people probably on Twitter this morning or last night saw the headlines about Binance, another line of FUD coming after them. But there's some other stories as well that potentially could result in seeing Bitcoin continue to decline here over the month of August. Of course, we broke down yesterday on the charts, while historically, after Red July's Red August do follow. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more, so make sure you don't go anywhere. Go ahead and smash that like button. And again, please subscribe. We are pushing super close to 4,000 subscribers, but we need your help. We need you to smash that subscribe. We need you to share it with all of your friends. Just tell them, hey, come subscribe to the YouTube channel for the free price of free. Doesn't hurt anybody. With that said, though, guys, so glad that all of you are here. I am joined this morning by the fantastic, amazing, always doing better than he deserves, Mr. T. Shroom. Are you still doing better, or how are you doing this morning?
Actually, this morning I'm doing better than I deserve. I'll just be honest.
Good.
I'm not going to try to yank anybody's leg today. You know, I'm doing better than I deserve. Taking care of these dogs, taking care of my parents' dogs while they're doing their thing. It's been a struggle. But what I'd say is that my parents' dog has actually experienced a lot of growth. Hasn't peed inside as much as at the beginning of the babysitting, the dog sitting.
Open for.
Exactly. So overall cheery. It's been a good couple of days to see the growth of a living being. You know, it's always a pleasure. But we've got a quote of the day, and this time it's coming close. It's coming close from home. We're not going too far out. It's not Warren Buffett, but it's someone who's even better. Just kidding. Magic Internet Money. He said, if you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals. Tim, how true is that, my man?
I mean, very true. It is very true. Listen, as a former athlete, one of the reasons why I think every child in America should play some form of sports is because it does teach you discipline. It teaches you focus. And again, if you have that real competitive nature, you got to lock in. There's a reason why, some of you guys know my brother he actually just had to try out the Seahawks. They didn't sign him. It turns out there was a bunch of chaos that happened. But I can tell you right now, the amount of focus he puts in, and then meeting the other players in the NFL, how much focus they put in, it is absolutely ridiculous. And they all probably subscribe to that kind of view of like, man, there cannot be any distractions whatsoever if I want to be successful here. So I, from a personal level in my whole life, agree with that quote more than maybe any other quote you've ever said. And for that, we got to thank Mim. We got to thank Mim for bringing us that quote today. Speaking of Mim, I saw on a calendar invite this morning, he will be joining us this next Wednesday. Is that correct, T-Shroom?
The 9th of August. We will have him on.
Oh, that growth is backfiring. Those dogs.
The growth of their vocal cords.
That or they just really love Mim.
Yeah, no, they probably heard a squirrel or something twitching out in the leaves.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't have a quote of the day today, but I did want to say this right here is for Elliot Locke and Crypto Sec Guy. This is the new addition to my shelf. Of course, my main love, right? Come on, Tim. Right there.
Is that your wife?
Number one right here. Well, we're talking about fandom. That's my main love, I guess. You're right. But when we're talking about fandom, number one, number two, go Gators and go Hokies. Guys, let's get in here. We're going to read some names in chat this morning and then get into the crypto stuff. But you guys know we got to get these up. Now, here's the thing. We do need help from you guys. The views have been a little bit lower the last couple of days, so we need your guys' help. Make sure you smash that like button right now. There's 60 of you watching. Let's get 60 likes because we got to tell YouTube that this is a good show and that more people need to be watching it. So go ahead and help us out. Smash that like button. With some of the people I know have already smashed that like button. Number one commenter, a mellow fellow with the blue wrench. he has taken a commanding lead again. It's been a lot of days here recently. He's been the number one commenter, but right behind him, it's a Crypto Mario. Fastly growing into one of my favorite names here on the channel. Gotta spend more time with It's a Me. Army Piper. Okay, we'll talk about another favorite one of mine. Army Piper with the blue wrench is here this morning. We miss you, Piper, but hopefully everything is going well. We need to talk again. I haven't talked to Piper in probably, I don't know, 6 days.
I was talking to him yesterday.
I need to talk with Piper again here soon. Let's see who else is here. Eric Wallen is here. Lexicaliber is here. Jeff Larson is here. And again, Ada Ace. So it's not ADA Ace. I think we usually say ADA Ace. It's Ada Ace coming in clutch last night with some alpha over in our X Spaces. If you guys missed it, you missed it. We're going to have to talk more with Ada. He has also been putting a lot of stuff over in our Discord. You guys got to check it out as well. A world of knowledge getting into the DeFi world of Cardano, and a lot of stuff I learned last night from him, and I'm looking forward to learning more. Who else is here? Gia S is here. Come on, guys, 4,000 subscribers, and Gia S gets a blue name. You got to help her out. Who else is here this morning? Remington Peralt is here. Yair Navarro is here. Crypto Pew Pew Cruz. Man, Pew Pew. Why aren't you in the top 3? Pew Pew, that's where you used to live. Got to get back up there. Who else do we have here? Cryptex is here with the blue wrench. Mike Volmer is here. By the way, 5,000 subscribers, and Mike gets a blue name. He's claimed that spot. Alex Green is here. With a lot of comments from Alex Green. Justin Eubanks, Mike Play. Let's get 4 more names. Crypto Gopher. Let's see. That's 1. Keep scrolling. Who else? We have Brian D. That's 2. Tyler Durden. That's 3. Katzman. And that is 4. I did say 4, so that is it, guys. I know there are a lot of other names that I did not get to read, but it's not because I don't love you. It's just time to go ahead and move on into the show. But again, go ahead and smash that like button. We did get to 61 likes, so thank you so much. But now we got 76 of you, so we need to get to 76 likes here very, very quickly. As we jump into this economic outlook this morning, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening here. Let me refresh just to make sure we have all the updated data. There we go. All right, this morning we did get the interest rate from Great Britain, and it came in just as expected. They rizzed their rates by another 25 basis points. 5.25 is now their number over there in England. So
hiked.
I prefer rizzed. Let's keep going on here. At the end of the show today, we will see the ISM service PMI here in the United States. Initial jobless claims did come in this morning at 227,000, which was the expectation. So, hey, guess what? We finally got one of those predictions right here. Again, not good for Americans necessarily, but this is starting to push maybe in the right direction of what Jerome Powell wants to see. So potentially, is this a positive overall? Unit labor costs came in lower at 1.6. Ooh, that's not great. Non-farm productivity came in at 3.7, higher than expected, back in the positives. Let's take a look at what we have the rest of this week. Well, just on Friday, unemployment rate will come in, non-farm payroll. So based off the fact that we did get jobless claims coming in as expected, I wonder if we're going to be close and we're going to keep that 3.6 for unemployment rate, and non-farm, if we're going to see a little bit of a drop in non-farm payrolls. You're going to have to be here, though, tomorrow morning. Thank you, Cryptex, saying the goodest English there, Tim. Yes, it is. You listen, here's the thing. When you don't know good English, like sometimes I don't, sometimes you just got to find new English, and then you stick to that new English, and that new English becomes good English. That's my philosophy on English. That's my philosophy on life. And it's more fun to live that way. Bitcoin, of course, is in the top 1, but today we are in the green, which is a bad thing because that means that we had a lot of long liquidations, 19.5 million liquidations, but 16.7 of those being long liquidations. Part of the reasons why we dropped back below 29,000 here last night. 2.8 of them were short liquidations, but that is not a lot. Ethereum, of course, in second place. 9.3 million liquidations, 8.5 of those being long. So again, a lot of bears here last night. Litecoin on the day of its halving, 4.5 million liquidations, 4.3 million of those were long. So just as we predicted, guys, this is also another thing. Historically, not just Litecoin, but all of crypto falls right at the Lightning network, or not Lightning, Litecoin halving. Unlike the Bitcoin halving that is bullish for the space, Litecoin halvings are bearish, and that is true once again. But continue to watch this, guys. That fall probably is not over for Litecoin. And as we're going to break down in today's show, it's probably not over for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others as well. XRP is also here sitting with a 3.86 million liquidations, 3.6 of those being long liquidations. So very, very bearish base. Guess what isn't bearish, though? It's kind of split here, but we did get some short liquidations, more short liquidations on Curve than long, but Curve, ooh, you want to talk about one that if you like playing with fire and you want to trade it, yeah, there's some trade opportunities on Curve. But if you're thinking that you're going to buy in Curve and have a long-term payout, you might want to think again, my friends. That's the liquidations. Let's take a look. Our trueflation coming in at 2.23, down 0.04% from yesterday, it looks like. So technically still going in the right direction. That's a good sign. Let's take a look right here. I was looking at different levels here. September coming in still 82% that we're going to get a pause once again. But it is still looking like this is the prediction for the top. We are not going to get any more raises according to CME futures predictions. See, it stays at 5.25. December stays at 5.25. January stays at 5.25, but January is where it starts to get a little bit closer. We're starting to see more predictions coming in for a rate cut, and they are predicting March. By a very slim margin, March should be the first time that we get a rate cut. So still positive for Bitcoin right now. Let's see if that holds up, though, over the next couple of days. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index coming in this morning, just a tick down at 52, which is another negative sign, guys. The reason why is because we fell a good amount in price action, but only lost 1 point in Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Kind of a sign that I do think, I told you guys before, I thought we were going to get closer up into the 80s. That does not look like it is happening. Instead, it looks like we are headed back down. And one of the reasons why is because now the price is moving a lot faster to the downside than the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is. You guys can see here, it is just staying sideways despite the fact that price is bearish. So that's not great. Let's take a look at our coin market cap this morning, taking a look at the top 10. Now, Bitcoin is outpacing some of these others like Ethereum, down 1% over the last 24 hours, where Ethereum is less than that. But let's see what the biggest losers are. XRP, the biggest loser, down at 66 cents. So we're going to have to check out that chart here in just a little bit, but down 4% within the last 24 hours. Dogecoin, 4% pretty much. Cardano, 3.6. Solana, 3.1. Litecoin, the biggest one it's not even top 10 anymore. It's now top 11, down 5%. Is there anyone bigger in the top 20? It does look like Litecoin keeps the cake on that one. Stellar coming in at 5.18, 21. Let's take a look at the biggest gainers. XDC, the biggest gainer again within the last 24 hours. It was the leader yesterday morning. So it continues to tear. You guys can see that chart, even though it's coming down a little bit, it's continuing to the upside, which means it must mean that it just had such a bullish day yesterday that even though we're down right now, we're still high on the last 24 hours. Curve up 6% within the last 24 hours. Anything else? Maker up, not anything. Not really significant. I guarantee, though, we're going to see some bigger ones over here. Whoa, not very big at all. The biggest loser is Compound at 5.96, which, by the way, now come and take a look at this. Look at how many bigger coins. 11's up top, 21, 25. Got some larger coins up at the top. Cardano coming in here a little bit higher in the list. That is not great necessarily for crypto. It absolutely was a bearish day. But you know what they say? Sometimes after super bearish days like that, it's followed by a green one. Maybe do we get a little bit of a dead cat bounce or something? We will have to see. Guys, it is time to go ahead and move on over into our TA this morning. But before we do that, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. We almost have 100 people watching right now, so we should have 100 likes again. YouTube, a little bit suppressing us right now, kind of keeping the views a little lower. We got to get that back. We got to get back up here. We were hovering there for a while where we would get almost every single day to 160 concurrent, pushing like 800, 900 views per video. A little bit lower recently, so we definitely need your help. But also, supporting the channel is two different sponsors we have. You guys know we love Chart Prime, the best indicators in the game. But speaking of indicators, you want to use them to trade. Well, where are you going to go trade? We have a partnership with BitGet. We announced that yesterday here. By the way, in case you're wondering where to look for it, follow this drawing right here. It's right, boom, right there.
Whoa.
Go down to BitGet, sign up with our link. With our link, you get a $20 coupon. That means $20 free to trade. So even if you already have a BitGet account, go get free $20 and just sign up with another one. and get that. And that supports our channel, but it also supports you with free $20, but only with our link and only with BitGet. You only have a couple more days because I do think that deal ends on the 7th. So take advantage of it right now. Let's dive in here to Bitcoin, guys. Again, we're going to talk about in the headlines why we potentially are moving to the downside from a news perspective. But you guys know here on Investing Bros, we break down the charts, we break down the news, we break down sentiment, and we try to give you everything you need to know to make informed decisions. I'm going to start off. Let's, despite the fact that we're down in price, let's be a little bit positive here for just a minute. You guys know that we drew this line a couple of days ago. We had been in a falling trading channel here since the peak back on July 13th, excuse me. Now, we just broke out and we've come back down and we're using this former resistance level as support. Potentially, guys, could we see a push up in Bitcoin price? If this continues, could we maybe after this bounce make another push up here back above 30,000, come up to the 30,400 level price action that we peaked out at here back on July 20th? Of course, once you make that move, you start to ask the question, being back up in this range, do we now make a new push for a new high this year? I'm leaning towards no, guys. Again, we've broken down the last couple of days why that is. In case you didn't watch our show yesterday, one of the big reasons why, if I go out to my other chart here, is if you go back, there have been 4 times in the past on Bitcoin's price that July was red. You have to see the log chart to get a better view of this. And look at this, guys. Back in 2011, red July marked the top of that June, that 11th rise. It then started a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 month downfall. You have back here in 2014, it was another peak in a pre-bull market rally that started a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of broke 6, 7 month downfall. You had a very small downfall here back in 2016, but it was 2 months, meaning August was red again before September turned us back to the upside. And of course, the 2019 that we have compared current price action to repeatedly started a 1, 2, 3 break, 4, 5 month downfall before we started to rally back. And then, of course, COVID came in and brought price back down in March. But again, all of this negative price action happened well before the pandemic. So you cannot blame 2019's fall on COVID. That was not until March 20th and was a black swan event. We were going to fall whether COVID happened or not. Said the C word there a lot, but I didn't spread any misinformation according to the internet. So I think we should be safe. Let's head back over to Bitcoin and take a look, though, at these shorter timelines. I'm telling you guys again, I'm in the boat now. I'm thinking that potentially, if we're talking about which happens first, 36K or 25K, I've begun to lean towards, I think we might see 25K happen first. And especially with some of the news that we're seeing happen right now, that's looking more and more likely. But let's take a look at what should be happening over the next couple of days. Let's pull up our indicators and oscillators here. Now, again, one of the reasons why I said we could have a bounce coming down and touching this support level. Oscillators also look like they are turning over. The money flow is moving to the upside, even though our trend fusion is moving to the downside. We could see a bounce right there. We have a couple green histograms here on volume here on the 4-hour chart. Let's pull up our indicators here as well, see what they are saying to us. Bounce perfectly right there off of our trend assistant. Was there any support and resistance levels here? We did come down and touch and bounce off of this order block here. It's a low order block, but still an order block. So potentially, guys, keep your eye on the ability for Bitcoin to bounce back up. Take a look back up here, maybe come back up towards 29.5. There's going to be some resistance there. And then, like I said, if we can get some bullish momentum here, don't be surprised if potentially we come in here and hit a $30,400 price, which would be a breakout prediction here on 30,500 maybe potentially, but 30,400 is probably more likely, seeing as that we already have resistance sitting at those levels. I guarantee that's going to come in more significant. Yeah, watch those resistance levels here as well. We're below the strong resistance at 29.3. We're also below another strong resistance at 29.9. Could prove difficult for Bitcoin to get through. But as it stands right now, guys, again, macro charts, we come out to the daily, 2 daily. Let's look at these oscillators real quick. You guys can see we are still falling. No real signs on these larger time frames that the bottom is in, but you could see the 4-hour or the 1 hour have some short-term bullish action. But yeah, as we're looking at these larger time frames, It's not looking good. Another reason why it's not looking good is because the Bitcoin dominance is beginning to move back to the upside. You guys know that I've been kind of outspoken. I do believe we're going to hit 60% here on the Bitcoin dominance at some point. Got to turn off the wait. I'm on the log chart. Why is it changed up on me? Oh, well, I don't know why it's doing that. Either way, I still believe we're coming up here towards 60%, and we're starting to see a resemblance of that happening. Remember, guys, I did this yesterday, but I want to talk about it once again. 2019, guys, what was the peak of 2019? It was June. After that, everything went down. Bitcoin went down, Ethereum went down, XRP went down, everything went down. Well, guess what didn't go down in June? Bitcoin dominance. It rose from 57% all the way up towards 73%, right? 57 to 73. Yeah. Again, I'm not predicting that explosive of a bounce, but I am predicting that 10% from 50 to 60, absolutely very, very doable. Definitely keep our eyes on that. Let's take a look at XRP, everybody. Now, again, I want to make sure I clarify for everyone because things get misconstrued. I do not hate XRP. I love XRP. I want to have a large bag of XRP because I do believe it will be the top moving coin of this next bull market. If you're looking at not probably at least the top 30, if not top 50, maybe even top 100. However, we are now making those serious breaks down below that 0.382. I do believe coming down to 57, 55 cents is within the cards. Let's take a look at the oscillators. You guys can see out here on the daily chart. Not even overextended, have a lot of room to go. Money flow still dropping with plenty of room to go. Oscillators are not sitting anywhere near overextended. I'm sure just like Bitcoin, if we come down to the 4 hour and 1 hour, you're going to find, oversold flashes. Our trend fusion is below the money flow. You could see again on XRP a short-term bounce over the next 24 hours. But just because something turns bullish for the next 24 hours does not mean this long-term slump is over. Just like Bitcoin, these larger time frames, they're heading down. The trend is down, but they are not necessarily saying we're overextended. There's a lot of room still to the downside. Watch for when we get down here towards 57, 55 cents. For those now, those things will come back in bullish. More than likely 5-day, weekly, maybe get back towards that midline, but daily chart, 2 daily chart, we're probably looking massively overextended and would be an amazing, juicy buy for your trading. Let's see what time it is. 9:23 here. Let's get into some other ones. Let's take a look at Cardano. We talked a lot about Cardano last night in our X Spaces. So there's going to be some similarity between Bitcoin and XRP and Cardano. Again, we're moving to the downside. We have lost, if you come even to the shorter timeline, something that was really bearish about what Cardano did is after setting this rising level of support, we broke below it. And yes, we had one candle on the 4 hour chart break above it, but we could not hold and close more than one candle. We broke back down below. We're using this as resistance. And that is one of the reasons why Cardano is dropping at the moment. Not necessarily a formation I'm going to say that there is there. You could make arguments for a lot of different things. Like, let me even see this. Like, you can make the argument if you wanted to try to chase it that maybe this fall is going to be repeated to this support level where we just broke out. And that would give us look at that. Gives us right at our level at 18 cents that we've been talking about for a very long time now. But once again, this low prediction of 18 cents is not because I hate Cardano. To the rather, if you guys had listened to X Spaces last night, we actually had a really good conversation about the fundamentals of Cardano, what makes it special, what makes IOHK and what Charles Hoskinson are doing different than the rest of the crypto space. I believe Cardano will be able to hold up in this next bull market as the true champion of truly decentralized cryptocurrency. That doesn't, though, however, stop it from having negative price action. And there's a lot of reason to believe at least 18 cents, if not lower. Again, 14 cents is another area to keep your eyes on for sure. One of those reasons, let's take a look at fixed range volume profile. How far back do we need to go to do this? Comment. That's probably good enough right there. You guys can see we're struggling. We are really struggling to get back above these peaks here at 36.5, 31 cents as well. We're headed down this volume mountain, and guess where that volume mountain kind of ends? Starting right there on 19, 18 cents. There was other reasons here. I think we're going to see also, if you go all the way back to long term, you get some support resistance levels down there. But we have peaks back here in August, could make it very interesting as well. And again, the other thing is we predicted, again, with Bitcoin dominance rising, I told you guys this is something to keep your eyes on. As prices are falling and Bitcoin dominance is rising, what that is going to imply is that cryptos will fall at least at the same percentage as Bitcoin, but more realistically at a higher percentage. And that's why I said, hey, even if we top back out at 38 cents, which by the way, we did. We got right there to 38 cents. Watch for potentially a 50% or greater fall. 50% would put us right there at 18 cents, and 60%, 62% would put us down towards 14. So definitely still keep an eye on this T-box. I hate being right about things when it's this negative, but I still believe I'm going to be right. I think my prediction is going to be vindicated there, but let's continue to watch the rest of this fall to see how that unfolds. Let's see what else is there. Let's take a look at Litecoin now that it's having, sure enough, right on schedule, guys. We talked about this before. We've shown the, I don't know, T-Shroom, if you have the picture of the previous halvings or what happens, but we talked about it happens a couple of weeks right before the halving, which by the way, happened right here. It peaks out and then starts its downward trend. Well, it is right on schedule. It is moving to the downside. Let's take a look what the oscillators are saying out on the daily chart. Not overextended whatsoever. Money flow, you guys can see right there if you kind of zoom in. If I were to full screen this, money flow is keeling over after having a nice bounce down low and coming to the upside. It looks like it's not even going to make it back to the mid-level there for money flow. So that is a negative sign. Yes, we're low on the RSI, but you guys can see it's very common to come a lot lower on the RSI. So I do not believe that this dip on Litecoin is over. Would not recommend trying to long this. Again, 4 hours, you want to do some scalp trading? Let's take a look here. I would imagine we're pretty overextended on the 4-hour chart. Nothing gross or nasty. I mean, the RSI is not the lowest it's been here recently, but it is super low. Oscillators are super low. We did get an oversold and a green reversal. We do see our trend fusion way below money flow. That is kind of trading sideways here. Let's take a look at some significant levels that Litecoin might have here with rejecting here on dynamic reactor. We did get a 4-hour reversal, so that again, short-term bounce coming, but not going to clear that dynamic reactor whatsoever. Let's take a look at there's some levels here that keep an eye on with multi-time frame support and resistance. It looks like we're coming in here. The next level to keep your eye on around 84 cents. But look at all of these levels down here, guys. I do believe Litecoin will at least come down to this bunch. We have the most powerful 4-hour one coming in here. A lot of daily support coming in down here. I am expecting probably at least a $69, if not lower, $66 Litecoin coming very soon. And then the question becomes, does it drop even more? Let's just say for the sake of argument that we get a 50% drop, just like Cardano would get. I'm going to give it a benefit of doubt and say we're going to talk about from this peak at 114. That would give us price action 50%. Not unreasonable. Looking down here, the closest next thing, 54. Technically, 50% would be somewhere around 56, but close to another level of support. 54, we'll call it $55 on Litecoin. Could be interesting. Litecoin's another one of those projects, guys, that, again, there's trading there. And I'm not saying you can't make a 5X in this next bull market. I'm not saying that Litecoin is going to die. Oh, thank you, T-Shroom, for that. Yeah, you guys can see there very nicely. We rally into the halving and then drop right after. Let's go back to my chart here. Litecoin's one again. Could you get a 5X? Potentially. You absolutely could. Especially, let's just pretend we predicted this perfectly and we get a $55 Litecoin once again. Let me go out to the 5 daily just to get some good time frame here. I do not believe we'll see another all-time high. I don't know if we're going to see $400 again. What would a 5X be, though? If we came in, let's say we bought at $55. Come on now. Where are you? Well, you know what? We'll just go to this bottom. Let's just even say if you were to have bought at the very bottom, 5X right here, that's going to give you 250. All right. So I think we could do more than that. I think we could even potentially come close to triple topping. Let's say we triple top here on Litecoin. That is almost a 9X here. There's a lot of money to be made in Litecoin, but if your thought is that Litecoin is going to continue to push and set new highs, there's really not a fundamental reason. What we have back here, Litecoin was one of the very few altcoins back in 2017, so of course it sets a new all-time high. And then there was a really explosive rally here, but this tells you kind of why we're not going to set a new high is despite that super bullish action in early 2021, it couldn't even set a new high. In fact, while we're going to call this a double top, it didn't even technically double top. It did not even touch its previous high. All the more reason why I do think Litecoin is going to continue to take a back seat to other cryptos. It's not going to die immediately. It's going to be a slow, painful, methodical death. But if you're trading it, there still is money to be made in Litecoin. Being one of the older coins, that also makes it easier to do technical analysis on, which also makes it easier to trade. Ben mentioned that yesterday on stream. He said he has noticed when he trades, he cannot trade any other altcoin as good as you can trade Bitcoin. You want to know why that is? We're going to drop a little bit of trading alpha. The longer a coin has been around and the more price action you have seen and the more bull and bear markets it has been through, the better data you have, the better information you have. And the more information you have, the better you can actually predict what's going to happen. That's another reason why, guys, if you learn how to do technical analysis, technically speaking, you can do a lot better in the stock market or Forex because those charts have been around for freaking ever, and it makes predicting things a lot easier. Nothing's 100%, but the percentages of when you see formations or when you see Fibonacci levels, it becomes a lot more lethal with making good calls. That is why Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, you're going to find a better success rate doing TA on those coins because they've been around for a while. With that said, though, guys, we covered a lot of ground this morning on crypto TA. It is 9:31. We're about to move into our market open, take a look at those stocks that we're talking about, and then we'll cover headlines here in just a couple of minutes. But T-Shroom, what do we see in the stock market open this morning?
In the U.S. stock market?
You can go wherever you want to go, T-Shroom.
I always give Tim a hard time on that piece. There, we're going to look at the NASDAQ. Taking a look here, you can see that it has yet to really come up and touch those all-time highs. This is the monthly chart, guys. We had some weird news yesterday. Fitch downgrading the U.S. just in general. Just the U.S. was downgraded. So that's not great. You know, the markets don't want to hear that the location of the New York Stock Exchange has been downgraded. You know, it's not good. But we're going to hear from a couple of different seasoned, experienced investors why that may not be that big of a deal here later in the show. But for now, you can see that represented here in the NASDAQ. Let's take a look also at the S&P. Also, you can see they're just not too much further, really only from that green candlestick closed in July. There's only really 4% to the all-time highs and 5% to the true all-time highs on the daily charts of the 5%, about 5% to that upside there. So, you know, the S&P on a buy rating from June, and it has the green trade assist there from Chart Prime. Same thing for the NASDAQ, and also the same thing for the Dow, just less the buy rating there on the monthly. So that's that's about as bullish as it can get. But yet we see a red candle on the month of August so far. But August is far from over, guys. It's far from over. But you do want to make sure that you're staying tuned to shows like these that make sense, you know, and keep up with these types of trends. So we'll go back, we'll cover it in here in just a minute. But overall, markets indexes are opening red. Taking a look at energy here, it's the opposite. Opening up green. Now, the futures contracts for natural gas coming up 3% higher in the ETF. UNG coming up 1.8. So natural gas getting a little bit of relief. I wouldn't say there's much to be worried about there because it has just been getting hammered. I won't even open the chart. I will open the chart for oil this morning, up 0.3%. As you can see, let's get off the monthly chart. But before we do, as you can see, on the monthly chart, it's mostly been trading sideways and pretty much below $85 per barrel, but it's gone as low as $65, call it $63 per barrel, ever since kind of correcting from those pandemic highs up at crazy nosebleed heights of $120 per barrel. Oh, man, those were crazy times. All supply side failures there in the skyrocketing prices. Not so much demand because everybody was staying home. Well, you know, everybody, including oil field workers and everybody include oil refinery manufacturers. So that's what made the price of oil go so high so quickly. And that was a global pandemic, right? Not just the United States. All right, taking a look here at oil a little bit closer up, you can see that it is under a buy rating from back here in July 7th. So early July, there was a buy rating on the daily and got a green trade assistant there. And only now is it starting to kind of show some signs of maybe pulling back. But guys, it's not even really close to that midline of the Bollinger Band. So I'd say there's definitely room to grow there for oil. I did not buy anything down here in oil, so just a full disclosure, I'm not exposed to energy at all, actually. So unless you count Tesla, which is an EV. So I guess that would be reversely exposed to it. So, all right, taking a look here at crypto, just generally pretty red across the screen, guys. Maybe a little bit of mixed, but mostly red across the screen. Taking a look at gold and silver, you're seeing gold getting bought just a little bit, just a tad, just a little wink of green there for gold, but silver selling off 0.6%. Your mega cap tech stocks not getting any relief today, really. AMD up 1.2%, kind of the anomaly there. But other than that, really not much upside. Tesla and Oracle trying to make an argument to stay green on the day, but we're 5 minutes into the New York session, and they're only up 0.1%, both of those green names. And then Microsoft, MSFT, is up 0.03%, right? So not really much hope there in the first 5 minutes, but that could definitely change. Definitely could change. We shall see what the next bullish narrative will be. Will it be robotics? Will it be genomics? Will it be the banking industry? Which sector will bring the equities out of the doldrums that it's currently in, albeit so nearsighted, right? Because as we looked at those monthly charts there on the S&P and the NASDAQ, man, the equities have just had a tear. They've been on a bullish tear. So, guys, don't be discouraged. If you're seeing your 401ks correct over the last 2 days, you have had quite a bit of upside. Taking a look here at the bond yields, man, they are telling a story of what we saw yesterday from Janet Yellen. And what can you say? I mean, it was exactly as I kind of interpreted it. Bond yields are going to go up, and they have, right? When you issue a bunch of new bonds, or you say that you're going to issue a bunch of new bonds, that's what happens. You're adding supply. The value of the underlying asset goes down. And if it's bonds, the yields are going to go up. So and these are really high yields, yield changes on the day. 2.6 to the upside, 2.5, and then 2.3 on the 10-year. They're really big yields. And what I would say is that it's actually healing the yield curve. You'll notice is the longer dated yields are actually going up in value, the yield is going up. Sorry, value is not the right word to describe that phenomenon. And then the younger dated bond yields are actually coming up at a much less high rate. So for those of you who really understand what I'm saying, this is actually a long-term bullish thing for the U.S. government and their bond scheme, their monetary scheme. But it's a signal of bearish sentiment for the midterm for equities for sure. All right, taking a look here at the Dixie, you can see it's hanging out at 102. Got back up above 100, and it's hanging out there, finding some comfort there. Cannabis mixed, mid-cap tech stocks pretty much mixed, although Hood really disappointing on its earnings yesterday. Did not do well at all. It is now getting sold off to the tune of 8.4%. Let's take a look at that chart. I don't think we've pulled up Hood's chart in a while, if ever. To be honest with you, I don't know if we've pulled it up. But taking a look here on the weekly chart, going back all the way to April of 2022, you've seen it's kind of been in a range, kind of moving sideways, not really moving up or down, not moving up with the mega caps, but also not moving down with the altcoins, you could say. It's kind of just been going sideways, Robinhood has. Recently, it's had a nice little movement to the upside, but that has ended today as it has gapped down quite a bit. So that's going to be your mid-cap tech stocks. Taking a look here at the big banks, generally red, and oil stocks are actually kind of mixed. Don't really know what to do with that 0.3 to the upside on oil this morning. And your crypto miners are pretty much red across the screen. ClearSpark actually sticking to a little bit of green identity there, up 0.3%. Not sure why, but CleanSpark is showing strength. It could have been that it was already oversold. Yeah, so it's bouncing off that trend assistant there, under a buy rating on the day. So, and it's been under that green trend assist for quite a while. So pretty interesting. I'm sorry, correction. It is not under a buy rating on Chart Prime. It is under a strong sell on the daily chart. So keep that in mind there, guys. All right, that's going to round out our market open. If I had to summarize it, guys, I mean, it's just a continuation of yesterday's kind of selling off. That's definitely represented in crypto, certainly represented in the S&P and the NASDAQ. If I could actually, I'm going to go flash back to my screen really quickly because I didn't show the NASDAQ on the daily chart, you can see it has broken some lines of resistance here. It's broken the midline of the Bollinger Band, which it hasn't done. It hasn't closed below the Bollinger Band a full candlestick since back here in May, early May of this year. So if it closes this candlestick that it's currently in on the day, that will be the first candlestick close under the midline of the daily Bollinger Band since May. So that's bearish. That's pretty bearish if we get that. You can see there's some other bearish indicators you could potentially bring up as well, but it is under a sell rating. Got a green trend assistant there. I will point out that there's plenty of room to sell on these oscillators that are above the both the MACD and the Prime Oscillator Pro are both above the 0 line. So there's plenty of room for a correction here in U.S. equities. All right. Well, let's go ahead and leave it there. There's more to interpret, but we could be with U.S. equities all freaking day, guys. If you enjoyed that, definitely go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe. If there was some alpha in there for you, maybe you're thinking about staying on the sidelines today. Maybe you were gonna buy, now you're gonna stay on the sidelines. That's probably the way I would interpret what I just said. Not financial advice, but guys, if you are gonna trade, or maybe you're gonna short the market today, take a long-term put. Buy some puts, on the NASDAQ or the S&P or whatever you want to buy. Maybe you consider, you wouldn't use BitGet though on the S&P, but if you're going to short maybe, maybe Bitcoin, right? Or Ethereum, you can do that on BitGet. Now, how would you do that? Well, or why would you do that? Well, because you can get free $20, guys, right now, free $20 until August 7th. Now, you're going to go get that. You're going to sign up. You're going to get that free $20. You're going to say, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this free $20? And the possibilities are pretty endless. You get you and your girlfriend or your guy friend a coffee. You could go buy your kids some new toys at Wally World, or you could get a super chat.
What does $20 get you in toys these days? I'm figuring toys have gotten pretty expensive here recently.
You can get yourself a couple Hot Wheels. You're not balling out buying like a Barbie castle or anything, but you could definitely get yourself a couple Hot Wheels.
You know what else you can do for $20, T-Shirt?
What's that?
You can become a gold member of Investing Bros and get to come to every Thursday's very intimate bro time where we just talk. We get to hang out with you guys. Again, you can ask questions. You can come make fun of Crypto Set Guy. That's one of my favorite segments of the gold members. We also sometimes make fun of Alex Green for being British. That's another fun thing that we do. Not Cryptex. We applaud Cryptex for being British, but Alex
There's
Green,
just nothing to make fun of with Cryptex.
Yeah, Cryptex, there's nothing there. But you guys should definitely come check it out. It is community time, and I told guys in chat here, T-Shirt, I don't know if you saw it, but anyone now who shares the link to the stream, what I might start doing is every single day, I'll start tweeting out the link, and I want you guys to go in and start sharing it. But today, a lot of people shared the video. They commented at us, and I'm going to do some special shout outs here for some people. Let's refresh here. I think we got some new names, but I got to give a shout out to the first one. He did it before I even asked.
And we're going to your screen.
Let's do it. Go to my screen.
Okay.
You get to see what is happening here. Justin Eubanks was the first one to share, saying, "Let's see these dudes to 4K. Grab some coffee and start your day off right with some morning alpha." Tagged us in there. Massive hug send, but yeah, he redid the title. So shout out to him. Gia also did it. She liked it. I saw on my feed that she shared it as well. I think she pops up here again. Indie Rock Crypto shared it, which, by the way, I also gave him a follow. He puts out some content and does stuff. So make sure you guys go follow Indie Rock Crypto right there at Indie Rock Crypto. Really easy. Nice and squeezy. All right, let's see who else. Austin from Block Bytes shared the link. Thank you so much. Mike Bitcoin. There we go. Gia shared it again. Here we go. Ada Ace shared it. Thank you so much. Who else do we have here? Army Piper shared it. You gotta love it. And so we had some more people retweeting. Juan, I don't know how to say that last name. Ixcoy and B Eunice retweeted your tweet. Shout out. Thank you so much to everybody. Again, we are getting super, super close. We're at 3,919 subscribers, meaning we need 81 more. And not only do we get to 4,000, but GS will get a mod. And we're going to be giving away some free silver memberships, but we got to get to 4,000. Help us out. Let's get this done, people. Thank you so much for everyone who's already subscribed. We just need to keep pushing a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tim, I actually just got a text from our BitGet rep, our connection
Okay.
over at BitGet. And he said with that $20, you could actually buy a brand new Lamborghini. And he sent me this link. So check this
Oh,
out right here for $8.20. So you'd have some money left
you get
over.
two of them. Yeah, you can get two
Yeah,
Lamborghinis.
a Hot Wheels Lamborghini Sion FKP 37. 37, God, the 37 series, man, I'll tell you what. I know everything about Lamborghinis and they are really fun. So obviously
Are
not
really
a
fun.
community moment there, but hey, the BitGet rep is part of our community now. He's a lot of
True.
fun.
It is true. Well, another thing before we're closing out community and we're getting into the headlines, because we do got some good headlines to talk about here. We're at 117 people watching right now. Thank you so much, everybody, but only 96 likes. And again, I think we flashed up to 150K concurrent there for about a minute. So I'm thinking right now, T-Shroom, I'm thinking we probably have 30 people
Yeah.
with a functioning right index finger
Hmm.
that have not used that right index finger hovering their mouse over that four-fingered mitten.
Well,
And
you've gotta.
I think they should do it.
I think so too.
We're now at 100, but I think there's another 25 of you that haven't done it just yet. Go ahead and smash that like button if you're excited about these stories.
Yeah.
T-Shirt, let's go ahead and jump on into it. What do we got this morning in the headlines?
Well, before we do, I would be
Oh, we always
remiss
have more.
because
I always
tomorrow I'm going to be on Evan Aldo's show. It's a YouTube
Right.
show at 5 p.m. You don't want to miss it, guys. I've never been on that show before, but Evan Aldo tuned in yesterday to our spaces and provided some really good alpha. But tomorrow I will be on his show, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely go ahead and subscribe to him so we can all jam out together tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tim teased it in the beginning of the show, but Magic Internet Money will be on
Yes.
August 9th. He will be on the Investing Bros, August 9th, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Caleb Franson is much deeper into the month, but Caleb Franson will be on, he's confirmed this morning, on the 26th of August. So don't get excited too much because it's not for a little while, but that's going to be a lot of fun. And you guys might be thinking, T-Shroom, what do you write on for your notes? Well, every morning for breakfast, I have a bagel. And with that bagel, I use a paper plate to carry it into my studio. And so I usually use paper plates to write down my notes for whatever I need to remember to say in the show. So that's a little bit of a look into the brilliance and just the genius of one of the Investing Bros T-Shroom. So with that, let's go ahead and bust on in to the headlines because, guys, we've got some pretty fire headlines. Not necessarily bullish headlines, but definitely ones we don't want to miss. Binance could face U.S. fraud charges. Man, you don't want to see a crypto name in the word fraud, especially not in the U.S., but prosecutors worry about risks of a bank run. So there was a bank run. They're worried about an FTX-style bank run. If you guys remember, it wasn't just the fraud that was going on at FTX. It was also the flight of capital. That was a big issue. What are they doing? Well, they're selling crypto assets in FTX and they're changing it into stable coins and moving it out, or they're changing it into USD, which takes it out of the crypto ecosystem, which is no bueno indeed. But earlier this year, the Commodities Future Trading Commission, FTC, sued the company, Binance, and founder CEO CZ for willful invasion of U.S. laws. So the steam, the temperature definitely getting turned up over there at Binance. And man, they've just been getting beat across the head from regulators across the world. Tim, do they deserve this over at Binance? Have they been breaking a bunch of laws, committing a lot of fraud? Are they the next FTX? Or do regulators in the deep state establishment, TradFi establishment, are they just trying to bring Binance down so that they can roll out their TradFi crypto regime on the world?
Yeah. No, guys, this is more FUD. I want to start off by saying, even though I do believe this headline is bearish, and I do believe a lot of people will fall for the FUD, we got to call FUD FUD. This is FUD. And what's even more so, T-Shroom, I might have missed you mentioning it, but there was another article last night that I was reading that it says that they're considering it, right? And their reason for considering it and not officially launching a lawsuit or a filing is because they're worried about a run on the exchange for holders.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is still even more of a play to say, hey, we want to scare you out of going into Binance. I believe that's even more FUD going on. Now, again, if there's actual evidence and if they actually do anything, that's fine. But we've seen in the past, guys, literally when it comes to Binance and in the SEC, I know this is the US government, but the SEC literally brought charges against them. And then in court, when asked, all right, what are the charges? What's the evidence? They pretty much said, oh yeah, we don't really have anything. So I know this is US government. I want to see what they think they have. But even that, like, if their thought is, oh, we don't want to scare people away from, we don't want to make a run on the bank. We live in a world right now where people don't wait for actual justice to be dished out. People don't wait for verdicts. People go ahead and read headlines and make their assumptions. So the fact that the US government is allowing stories to be written and are telling people, oh, well, we're thinking about charging them, but we haven't decided to yet because we're worried that people will run the bank. Wouldn't that make people run on Binance? This is absolutely stupid, and to me is proof that there really is nothing they have. Binance has proven over and over and over to be resilient, but is an enemy of banks, is an enemy of centralized authorities, and so they're going to keep targeting them one way or another, and this is the newest wave. But I don't know if you guys saw that tweet, but like literally yesterday morning, I guess, he tweeted out the number 4 again, and we all know that's a signal. It's like his little bat signal. Guys, we're about to get hit with more FUD. Don't worry about it. That came before this story broke. So I'm really not that concerned about Binance in the long haul, but I do believe that there still is a lot of sheep in this world that read headlines and freak out.
Sheeple.
And I would not be surprised to see a lot of people removing money from Binance because of this fear. And that was the whole play from the US government in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here I actually found a picture that a couple of AI artists were able to find images of people who believe those kind of headlines, and the image might surprise you. Yeah, right there. No, but so guys, yesterday the U.S. did get downgraded their rating for their treasuries essentially, and that was by Fitch, right? But that's not necessarily going to stick. CNBC Daily opened, the Fitch-induced sell-off is nothing to panic over. So CNBC running this headline and more. So here's some more. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, maybe you've heard of him, calls Fitch rating U.S. downgrade ridiculous, but says it doesn't really matter. Okay, noticing a little bit of a trend. Well, it doesn't stop there. Warren Buffett says he's not even worried about it, guys. He's not worried about the Fitch's U.S. downgrade. So hey, it's all pleasant in sunny USA. None of the major investors are even worried about it. Tim, how do you read this media rollout? First, Fitch downgrades the U.S. Stocks and equities do sell off. They get a real repricing to the downside. But then Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett, they get trotted out with these bullish retorts, essentially. Don't worry about it, kind of writing it off. What's going on here? What is the media really trying to say, and how should we interpret? Is this risk on or risk off?
Liar's gonna lie, T-Sherm. Listen, I don't believe that they're lying when they do the rating. So we've talked about this before. I just said it out there, but I want to back up. We've talked about this before. When we get news, there is a difference between the type of news that we will hear. There are news articles that are just truth, like BlackRock files for Bitcoin ETF. That's not an opinion. That is a fact. That is something they did. When we eventually get an article that says BlackRock ETF approved, that won't be an opinion. It'll be verifiable, either true or false. It's a fact that happens, right? When we get things like, guys, don't worry, the economy is not going to have a problem. That is an opinion, right? That is not a fact. That is an opinion. So what we're looking at here is we have two different stories. One is they came out with ratings saying we are downgrading the United States economy from a AAA to a AA plus model. What is that? Was that an opinion or is that a fact? It was a fact. When JP Morgan comes out and says, guys, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to be okay. What is that?
An opinion.
That's an opinion. And when you're looking at investing worlds and in the investing world and you're thinking through what the composite man thinks about, the composite man gives opinions to FUD or FOMO people in. JP Morgan is one of the biggest epitomes of what a composite man does by lying to you. Every time something good is about to happen, they try to FUD you out. And every time something bad is about to happen, they try to FOMO you in. So in this case, I'm listening to a negative fact. The economy of the United States just got downgraded, and a positive opinion from one of the biggest people that contribute to the concept of the composite man. To me, this is a very bearish story. This is classic manipulation by JP Morgan to try to keep the sheep in, which, by the way, T-Shroom, I know you had a good picture of them. Share my screen real quick, because I found another picture of the sheep
No
that are
way.
believing stuff like this.
Oh my
This
gosh,
is
there
the
they
type
are.
of sheep that are going to fall for the Binance FUD. They're going to fall for JP Morgan FOMO. This is the people that this represents. And I'm, nothing against these people specifically or their nationality. I'm looking at the fact that they're coming over here and putting their eyeball next to this ball. That is why they are sheep. And there are millions of people just like this spread out across hundreds of countries, millions of people, probably pressing close towards billions of people who will believe anything that is printed in Word. And that's the problem.
That one's a little more sad, because those people may be doing that to put food on their plate that night. But it's not a bad point. They still are sheep. I mean,
it was the only photo I could find of people.
It doesn't change. It doesn't change your point. I mean, regardless of the motivation, they're so. That's the way that cookie crumbles, unfortunately, and I do agree with you, Tim. Well, the news doesn't stop there. These are the high-profile Ethereum future ETFs applications currently in play, guys. A little bit of a bullish note for the show, which is nice. 2 of the actual tickers are released, and those are the ones that I'll cover. This one's from the listing exchange CBOE, BZX exchange, Ether Strategy ETF, ETHU, could be a ticker to see in your portfolio coming in the future. Maybe you're opposed to Ethereum ETFs. I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments. Ethereum Strategy ETF ETHG, that one from the New York Stock Exchange ARCA, ARCY, ARCA. I don't know why I said YRCY, but there you go. So definitely some bullish news for today, which seems to be dominated by bearishness. We'll skip ahead because, I don't know that there's too much of an opinion to have on that one, Tim, but
Well, I was going to read, there's the chat I was going to respond to. Matt C in chat says, Investing Bros, it's 2023. The composite man could be woman. And here's the thing, Matt. No, it couldn't be. It is composite man. And I see what you're trying to say. But in this day and age in 2023, if what we're talking about is someone who is a negative person, then it's okay to say man. If we're talking about them in a positive way, then we could maybe say the composite woman. But composite man is evil, and women aren't evil. That's the only thing we do know. If we're defining women, the only thing we know about women to be true is they're not evil. So for that reason, it is the composite man, not composite woman. We can get into more headlines. So,
wow,
yeah. You didn't think you were going to get that kind of breakdown this morning, but that, you learn a lot here. You don't just learn crypto and TA stuff. You learn about thinking.
Tim was ready for that one. All right. Well, we've also, we covered it already, but the Litecoin halving did happen yesterday. It was successful. There wasn't any outages. There wasn't any kind of breakdown. There wasn't any screaming. There was a move to the downside, but the Litecoin halving went off without a hitch. So there you go. And also there was another bullish headline. Hong Kong's new crypto regime awards first exchange license to Hashkey. So, we had there's another headline yesterday, I think, that, or 2 days ago, that Binance got the first license in Dubai. Well, now Hashkey is getting some of the first license in Hong Kong. So take that, Binance. No, but it's good. It's good to see, that part of the world. Those are 2 different parts of the world. I understand that, but we don't need to go back and examine T-Shroom's geographical understanding of the world, but geographical knowledge, as we have so many times on the show, which is a lot of fun. But this is the first time that Hong Kong is awarding these licenses. So Hong Kong officially part of China, technically. It's an administrative region, but they are dishing out these licenses now like it's going out of style. So there you go.
Well, very, very nice. It is 9:59, so we're going to wrap it up here. Let's read a couple chat here. Gia says that she's a woman and could be evil, but no, Gia couldn't ever be evil. She did lie to us once when I asked for people if it was their first time watching to put a 1 in chat, and I expected it from people like Crypto Set Guy and Crypto Trades and Elliot Locke and others like that. But then when Gia did it, it really did break my heart because Gia's not evil. Alex Green says, wait until Gia is a mod. A wrench can change a woman.
Yeah. The only time, and even if someone, creates a compelling argument that a woman is evil, it's probably just because they're being controlled by a man.
Well, see, and that's the thing, man. Like, my point here is that if you ever think a woman is evil, something's wrong with you is the real problem. Because in today's day and age, women are incapable of being evil. If a woman does anything evil, it's because some man was behind making her do it, and that's how our world works now. Welcome to Earth, guys. That is all we have for you in this episode. It is 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining. Again, tomorrow will be the last show of the week. Make sure you guys are here. And I'm going to start doing that every morning. We're going to post a link over on X of the video, and anyone who retweets it, we're going to be reading more names in the community section. Let's get to that 4,000 subscriber goal here within the next couple of days. I believe we can do it, and it's all because of you guys. But with that said, we love each and every single last one of you. You guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.